Hey crypto peeps, hope you're doing well. Today's date is 24th of April 2024. Very interesting times ahead. The Bitcoin halving has happened, and how has that affected everything? Well, let's get straight to it, shall we? As you can see here, right on CoinGecko here, today Bitcoin is trading at around about $66,000 and change. So it had a little bit of an up and down over the last 24 hours. Let's have a look here over the past week, shall we? As you can see, over the past week, it's gone up a little bit. It's not doing too bad. It's holding its own. Expected. This is expected. If you look at previous trends of what Bitcoin's done after the halving, the next few months are going to be very interesting. But with that, let's get straight to the news, shall we? My first piece of news here. Bitcoin miners underwater as production costs surge post-halving. Bitcoin production costs have reached record highs post-halving, as the same mining effort now renders half the revenue. Thus, Bitcoin's price must meet the production cost threshold to avoid industry turmoil and increase centralization for the leading cryptocurrency. Charles Edwards, founder of Capriole Investments, reported an electrical cost of $77,000 per Bitcoin mined on April 22nd. Therefore, as of this writing, Bitcoin miners spend $11,000 more in electricity for each mined Bitcoin, currently worth $66,175. Meanwhile, data from Macro Micro shows a less worse cost price ratio of 1.57, according to estimates from Cambridge University. As per this data, Bitcoin's average mining cost was above $102,000 on April 21st, at historical highs in production costs, with miners theoretically losing round about $36,000 for each Bitcoin that they issue. Interestingly, another useful metric for determining whether Bitcoin miners are underwater is the hash price index. With the halving, Luxor's half price index reached an all-time low of 0.000000118 Bitcoin, which is 118 sats per TH daily. Notably, with the exception of Marathon Digital Holdings and Griffin Digital Mining, all publicly traded Bitcoin mining companies reported losses in their activities. And these reports are all from pre-halving results when Bitcoin's production costs were half what they currently are. In addition, when the hash price index was at least 2 times higher. In conclusion, current data suggests potential industry turmoil that could cause some Bitcoin mining companies to close. To prevent that, the Bitcoin price would need to rally above the estimated production costs, now at all-time highs. If that interests you, check out the full article below. There's lots more in there with charts and everything else. We put all the links down below for you to make informed news on this. I'm just reading bites of the information on there, but interesting. That may massively affect the price. Do your own research and see what you think on that one. Moving to my next piece of news here on Bitcoin is crypto markets swell with $12 billion surge so far in 2024. And this is a spotlight on the Bitcoin ETFs. The cryptocurrency investment landscape has experienced a notable surge in the early months of 2024, setting new records for capital inflows into crypto funds. Data from CoinShares reveals that more than $12 billion has been injected into crypto investment products globally in just the first quarter of the year. This figure signifies a substantial increase in investor confidence and interest in digital assets that surpasses the total flow inflow recorded for the entirety of 2021, which stood at only $10.6 billion. The uptick in investment activity underscores the growing mainstream acceptance of cryptocurrencies. It also highlights the pivotal role of new financial products, particularly the US spot Bitcoin ETFs, in attracting significant capital to this sector. And according to CoinShares, this week alone witnessed inflows nearing $1.8 billion into global crypto exchange traded funds, or ETFs. And this milestone reflects an evolving investment landscape where digital assets are increasingly recognized for their potential to deliver and diversify and grow within investment portfolios. Lots more on that one. If that would interest you, check that out. It's got lots of charts, lots more information on there. Very interesting news. Cryptocurrencies are surging. As we've said to you for the last 5 or 6 years, cryptos are the future. Getting on it now. It's still early. You still have time to make good investments. Moving it on to another piece of news here. Now, this tallies in what we put out as Future Forecasting Group a few weeks ago. We did some remote viewing on HBAR, and we all had some information, some predictive information through remote viewing that showed that HBAR would go and it would have an uptick, it would have a nice big rise, and then it would come down again. On that back of that, I made my first investment in HBAR at the time. I bought some for myself. And as you can see here, due to some news, albeit fake news, HBAR price over the last 24 hours or so jumped 75% after traders misinterpreted a statement about BlackRock's involvement. So, it met our predictive data. Now, where it goes from here, we don't know. But let's read the story here for you. The story was updated on 24th of April at 7:50 this morning to explain that BlackRock didn't choose Hedera to tokenize its money market fund, or MMF. Tuesday's statement from Archax, Onura, and the HBAR Foundation explaining that the fund had been tokenized on the Hedera blockchain led to confusion amongst traders, wrongly attributing to BlackRock the decision to tokenize the fund. Archax, Onura, and HBAR Foundation said on Tuesday they have enabled the first tokenization of BlackRock's money market fund, MMF, on Hedera. The Foundation's announcement suggested BlackRock's direct involvement in the operation, but this was not the case. HBAR price has exploded 75% to 0.1646, and this is levels last seen in April 2022, but they retreated afterwards. There's more news on that one there if you want to look at that. It's everywhere at the moment, but interesting because it did happen just as we predicted within future forecasting within our latest remote viewing. So if you did invest and if you did get out of it, with that little bit of profit, good on you on that one. On forecast here, another piece of news here, the SEC postpones Ethereum ETF decisions. The US Securities and Exchange Commission, or the SEC, has postponed its decision on approving spot Ethereum exchange-traded funds, or ETFs, from Franklin Templeton and initially anticipated for May to a new deadline of June 11th, 2024. The SEC also delayed the deadline for the agency's decision on the Grayscale spot Ethereum ETF application to June 23rd. The potential approval of Ethereum ETFs would provide investors with access to the second largest cryptocurrency by market cap, marking another step towards integration of digital assets into conventional investment portfolios. If you like Ethereum, this one could be big. It could mean some big moves, but there was major decisions been put down the road a little bit to June. Gives you more time to accumulate, I guess. We'll see what happens there. So that's it for the paper-based news. Now we're going to go to the video-based news. Video is a great source. I use YouTube and TikTok. I have my favorites here. The first one here is on Altcoin Daily. This one goes on for around about 9 minutes, and they talk about Bitcoin's price ready to explode, and they think it's going to go to something like 150k, and this is 3 expert predictions on this. So have a look at that. That's a great one. Subscribe to them. Great channel. We love them. My next one here is Coin Bureau. This goes on for 19 minutes, and it's just general crypto news here, talking about Bitcoin, Ethereum, Toncoin, Sui, Core, all about the Fed cuts, and lots more on there. So lots of really basic news, really useful information now. Subscribe to them, really interesting. Now, my first piece of video here is off one, not a lot of us like as their news channels, but it's off Fox Business. It goes on for 5 minutes, and it essentially talks about how crypto is no longer seen as the Wild West, and this is according to Bitcoin experts. So that's kind of interesting, just to see what they're talking about and get a general view of how this is exploding in investment circles out there. Let's have a look at that one. Okay, so my final piece of news here today is on a new one for me called Friendvesting. It goes on for 18 minutes, and they talk about Jim Rickards, and he talks about what's coming is bigger than a recession. So we're talking about a big crash here. I've had this feeling, and many of us have this feeling, that something's coming down the pipe. This crash is, what's happening with financials in America and other countries is just unsustainable. The crash is coming. This is kind of bolstering that a little bit there. So if that interests you, check this one out as well, because it's always good to be pre-prepared for this kind of stuff. That's it for the news this week, though, so I hope you like that. Check out the links below for all the full articles and all the details for this, all the subscriptions to that. Also, click that link button and subscribe if you like us. Also, check us out on futureforecastinggroup.com. Take care out there. Do your research. It's really interesting time, but be careful. Have a great week out there. Namaste, and we'll see you next week.